Good afternoon and welcome to News Blitz on ZTN. I'm Blessing Manatsi. Thanks so much for joining us. Here's a look at our top stories. 5 Zimbabweans perish in KwaZulu-Natal floods. Woman held hostage, robbed by ex-employee. Man shoots daughter-in-law for delaying breakfast. And in sport, is there AFCON participation hope for Zimbabwe? We give you the full insights. We start with an update. 5 Zimbabweans have been confirmed dead in floods that hit South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal province recently. KwaZulu-Natal provincial government say the death toll from the floods now stands at 443, with 63 more people still missing. Search and rescue operations are currently underway. The South African government has since declared the KwaZulu-Natal province a disaster area where hundreds of schools have been closed as a precautionary measure. Zimbabwe's ambassador to South Africa, David Hamadziripi, speaks to ZTN.
Our Consul General in Johannesburg, Mrs. Chaurura, just returned from Durban yesterday, where she had gone to meet with all those who are involved in the emergency operation and also our nationals to assess the extent of need for support and assistance to our community there. She was able to establish and to get confirmation that regrettably 5 Zimbabweans lost their lives in these floods, and we are in the process of making arrangements for the repatriation of the bodies to Zimbabwe with the support of the government of Zimbabwe.
Health experts in Zimbabwe have called for vigilance as winter approaches, amidst concern that the cold temperatures may see a surge in new COVID-19 cases. The country has seen a significant drop in new COVID-19 cases and deaths over the past few months, but there is concern that complacency may plunge the country into yet another wave of infections. President of the Zimbabwe Medical Association, Dr. Francis Chiora, said laid down protocols should be observed to the letter.
Figures are quite low at the moment, which is a good thing, but it's not by any means gone. These pandemics tend to go and come, and they can run for up to 5 years, still getting some isolated cases. Cold weather always brings with it flu. So people ought to be warm, put on warm clothes, avoid being exposed, drink lots of fluids, particularly warm fluids, and not necessarily alcohol. And, we're still in the masking period. We should continue to use our masks. They do protect against the flu as well as the COVID.
Chief Coordinator of Zimbabwe's COVID-19 response, Dr. Agnes Mahomva, says masking up, social distancing and vaccination remain critical, particularly in the wake of new subvariant circulating in countries like Botswana.
It's very normal, ma'am, when weather changes that people have some flu-like symptoms even before COVID. People should not panic, number one. Number two, people should not panic. Number 3, people should not panic. Number 4, they must get vaccinated, make sure they are protected, continue adhering to the measures that we have talked about, which includes vaccination, distancing, and wearing their face mask. All those that have been identified so far as sub-variants of Omicron, they are not very different. WHO has confirmed that there's no need to panic. People must once again continue with the prevention measures that we're talking about, including vaccination.
Looking to the skies, the weatherman says the wet conditions prevailing in most parts of Zimbabwe are expected to continue until the end of the week. Chief forecaster in the Meteorological Services Department, James Ngoma, is on standby with more on the weather.
We've had wet spell over the southern parts, and it has migrated to cover even the northern parts, where it's been raining over Harare Metropolitan since morning. For the rest of this week, we're expecting this rainfall to persist with light rain across much of the country. Localized heavy downpours are expected over the northern part of the Midlands into Matabeleland North because of moisture that is drifting in from the northeast. Because of this, we still advise you that it's safe to be indoors during these rainstorms and do not cross any flooded rivers.
Villagers living downstream of Lake Mutirikwi in Zimbabwe's Masvingo province are at risk of floods as the dam is expected to start spilling anytime soon. The Zimbabwe National Water Authority, ZINWA, said the dam was now at 98% capacity and is slowly filling up on the back of the current wet spell. ZINWA spokesperson Majuri Munyonga speaks.
The current levels from Tirikwi are at 98.1%, which means the dam is not yet full, but its levels are rising, though they are rising slowly. However, we keep encouraging those living downstream from Tirikwi to remain on high alert should the inflows continue to increase.
Meanwhile, Munyonga said the country is water secure going into the next rainy season, with the national dam levels averaging 91%.
Most of the dams in the country, the major dams and the lakes, has enough water to carry us through to the next season, and the national dam level average is currently at 91%, which means most of the dams are full and the nation is water secure.
Kami Ruins, one of Zimbabwe's 5 World Heritage Sites located about 22 kilometers west of Bulawayo, is set for restoration. The monument is the second largest complex of stone walls in the country after Great Zimbabwe. The ruins were originally constructed between 1450 and 1650. An 8-member committee has already been established to manage the World Heritage Site, which is being threatened by pollution and mining activity within its proximity. National Museums and Monuments of Zimbabwe Executive Director Dr. Godfrey Mahachi spoke to ZTN.
The challenge with stone-walled monuments is that they weaken with time, but a restoration program which is consistent will ensure that the monuments remain standing for eternity. The Vice President and the Second Secretary of the party did emphasize the need for us to continue working on restoration programs, which we are doing at other sites, but we will do more at Kami.
Now shift to business. With just 7 days left before the opening of the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, ZITF, organizers say exhibition space is oversubscribed. ZITF Deputy Chief Executive Stella Nkomo told ZTN's Tsebo Kabo that they have come up with strategies to accommodate exhibitors.
Number has grown significantly. On a day-to-day basis, people are coming on board. What we have done is that we are currently in the process of sourcing a marquee to accommodate that overflow. We don't want anyone to be left out. We want everyone to come because we believe this is the most useful and critical marketing platform in the country, which every business should be take part in. So we are going to make sure that everyone who wishes to be part and parcel of the ZITF 2022 is accommodated.
In tech, today's world is fast becoming a global village whose polar opposites are being reduced in time and space by ICTs. Real-time information has become critical in determining success in business, while access to information has also become critical in our socio-economic activities. Experts believe there is potential in the country's human capital, and more needs to be done to capture ideas from upcoming technopreneurs. To tap into this potential, Zimbabwe set up an ambitious Smart Zimbabwe 2030 master plan, as Etienne spoke to Cloud Now, an ICT professional.
We have got talent here in Zimbabwe which can develop those fantastic solutions that we see coming outside. The major challenge that we have, which I see, is that we don't have proper frameworks which support what we call digital entrepreneurs. The digital entrepreneurs are those young guys that are coming from the college, where they have got ideas in terms of solutions that can actually be used by businesses. But we don't have that framework at government level, at institution level, where we embrace that knowledge that is coming through.
Engineer Jacob Mutisi says youths must be proactive in identifying ICT solutions for their localities.
What is happening to those youngsters? Do we have jobs for those youngsters? No, we don't. But we've got a challenge. simple basic things. They live in communities where there's a welder, there's a plumber, there's a tailor, there's a carpenter. Those people need ICT solutions. So let's provide platforms where those youngsters now can find solutions for that. I mean, how do you identify where a plumber is? How do you identify where a tailor is?
Zimbabwe's second largest city, Bulawayo, hosted the main independence celebrations for the first time in 42 years. The city did not disappoint as thousands attended the celebrations at Babafield Stadium. Crowds always look forward to the displays by the uniformed forces, but this year it was a car, particularly the Zimbabwe Defence Forces unmanned vehicle, that threw the crowd into a frenzy. Our correspondent Tsepo Kabo captured the moment. Now, agriculture is the backbone of Zimbabwe's economy in light of this sector's contribution to its economy. While the sector is traditionally known to attract interest from older citizens, the trend is shifting as more youths are showing keen interest. More details in the following report. Zimbabwe's government adopted the Pfumvudza Intwasa agricultural approach in the 2020-2021 farming season. The approach has been viewed as a way of climate-proofing, adopting conservative farming techniques while increasing output and returns. Bulawayo's Minister of State for Provincial Affairs, Judith Ncube, reiterated the need to intensify agricultural returns and fully exploit potential in the sector through the food systems transformation strategy.
There is need to intensively utilize the available agricultural land through implementing sustainable techniques like Pfumvudza Intwasa. In line with NDS1, the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development has developed the Agricultural and Food Systems Transformation Strategy, which seeks to develop a robust agriculture sector that will turn around the economy and achieve food and nutrition security.
1.1 million households across the country received inputs under the Pfumvudza program in its season of inception. The 2021-2022 season has seen 1.8 million people being trained countrywide, with more than 20,000 youths trained on the Pfumvudza Intwasa concept in Bulawayo province.
Silenhlelo esizenza ngenyanga zonke ngamaviki wonke siyabavakatshela ama-farmers. Sesikhangelele lapha esikhona namhlanje i-field day yesibili lapha esi-identifye omunye wama-youth angu-20,000 esawatrainayo sibafundisa ngohlelo lwe-Pfumvudza Intwasa i-conservation agriculture. Sibafundisa ukuthi nxa beyabe behlanyela ukuqhakathekileyo kuyini. Zintathu izinto esabafundisa ngazo. Sibafundisa ukuthi kumele belondoloze umhlaba, belondoloze njalo ababe bekutholile kungabe kungamakhafitha awomumbu wasala ngesizini edlulileyo kumbe kungabe kubutshani bengachisi.
Young and upcoming in agriculture, Melusi Kabo has maize and bean crop under 1 acre. He urged the youth to view agriculture as a means of sustenance and livelihood.
Engukhuthaza ukuthi ma youth asimeni siqine singayesabi ukungena edakeni. Asimeni ma youth sisebenzeni ngokubambana. Singasebenza ngokubambana siyathola isivuno.
Success of these upcoming farmers is a result of their constant consultation with Agritech's extension officers.
Walandela lo mthetho lo mfana wafaka inhlanyelo yakhe ngesikhathi. Esefake ngesikhathi walandela wafaka ifertilizer esefakile sekumilile konke kwaqala ukukhula kahle. Kuthe kuphakathi kwesikhathi izulu selingani selisima wasidinga ukuthi ebuza ukuthi engaqhubeka yini efaka itop. Samfundisa thina ukuthi nxa sokunje itop aka-ame nxa liza kuna usezafaka itop. Akasayifakanga itop ngokulandela ama-principles lemthetho esamtshela yona wathola isivuno esiphezulu. Ekucineni kwakho konke wenelisile ukuthi yena kufumvuza plot yakhe 39 by 16 by 2 plots uzakwanisa ukuthi khona lapha edolobheni lako Bulawayo athole i2 tons. Ukhangelele ukuthi uzathola ukuthi uzakudla omunye ubesithi uzawuthengisa.
With its continued rollout, the Fumvuza in Twasa program is anticipated to improve yield and enhance livelihoods for the bulk of smallholder farmers. A 55-year-old woman from Redcliffe, a town in Zimbabwe's Midlands province, was robbed of a motor vehicle and cash by her former employee. The incident happened on Good Friday. The suspect, Unity Dube, allegedly threw a log in front of the complainant's moving vehicle, prompting her to stop. Police heard that Dube opened the driver's door and wrestled control of the steering wheel while pointing a knife at the complainant. In the process, Dube threatened the complainant with death if she failed to comply. The suspect searched the complainant's purse and found only 20 United States dollars, which he claimed was too little. Out of fear, the complainant phoned her daughter, who brought $50 onto the scene. Dube took the money and pushed the complainant out of the motor vehicle and drove away towards Kwekwe town. Midlands Provincial Police spokesperson Inspector Emmanuel Mahoko confirmed the incident to ZTN.
ZRP is investigating a case of carjacking where a 55-year-old woman was robbed of a motor vehicle and cash along Richmond Way. Unity Dube, a former employee, suddenly appeared from the bush and threw a log in front of the motor vehicle, prompting the complainant to stop. He searched the complainant's purse, which was in the vehicle, and found only $20, which he indicated was too little. He further demanded more money, and out of fear, complainant found her daughter who was at home, and she brought a further $50. All the money was handed to the suspect, who then forced complainant out of the vehicle and drove away towards Kwekwe town.
A Harare man appeared in court on Tuesday facing charges of allegedly raping a mentally challenged female juvenile. The victim is 16 years old. Investigators heard that the accused lured the complainant to his house in Zivarasekwa, a suburb west of Harare Central Business District. The matter only came to light after the complainant made a police report and medical examinations were conducted, leading to the arrest of the accused. Harare Magistrate Yokai Zuda remanded the accused in custody to the 3rd of May and advised him to approach the High Court for bail. An update in South Africa. 14 people have been arrested in South Africa in connection with the murder of a 43-year-old Zimbabwean, Elvis Nyati. He was killed by hoodlums who are pushing hate crimes against migrants, especially Zimbabweans, around the Gauteng province. He was stoned and burnt by the group running a vigilante operation dubbed Dudula, a Zulu word meaning drive back. Nyati, who was killed in Diepsloot, north of Johannesburg, was buried in Bulawayo on Saturday. Our ZTN correspondent Tupe Mleya gives us more.
South African security officials have arrested 14 people in connection with the murder of a 43-year-old Zimbabwean by a mob that is pushing hate crimes against migrants, especially Zimbabweans, around the Gauteng province. The victim, Elvis Nyati of Matobo district under Chief Malava, was stoned and burnt by the suspects who are running a vigilante operation dubbed Dudula, a Zulu word meaning drive back. Nyati, who was killed in Diepsloot, north of Johannesburg, was buried in Bulawayo on Saturday. Gauteng National Prosecuting Authority spokesperson Ms. Pindi Ujonondwane said they had since received a docket concerning the murder case. She said the suspects will appear in court later today.
Zimbabwe is holding a population and housing census.
Census night is on the 20th of April, and the counting dates are from the 21st to the 30th of April 2022.
Everybody make sure to be counted. Wonke umuntu one by one. Sibalwe emajele mame esibhedlela. Landlords nemaroja and the homeless too.
Avoid scams. Zimstat will never ask for your identification number, your bank account, money, or donations.
Information collected is private and confidential.
This message is brought to you by Zimstat. Be sure to be counted.
Criminals go for anything and everything, it seems, nowadays. 3 men were spotted wandering about a traffic light in Johannesburg, South Africa recently. One with an axe attempting to dismantle the traffic light. After successfully dismantling it, the 3 took the cables and left the light on what looked like a pavement. A senior citizen from India allegedly shot dead his daughter-in-law for not serving him breakfast. It is alleged the 76-year-old killed his 42-year-old daughter-in-law with a revolver at their home in Rabodi and fled. Neighbors rushed the profusely bleeding woman to a hospital where she succumbed to injuries a few hours later. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has said that the barrage of Western sanctions imposed against Russia over its conflict with neighboring Ukraine have failed. Yesterday, Putin said that the West expected to quickly upset the financial economic situation, provoke panic in the markets, the collapse of the banking system, and shortages in stores, but that strategy had failed. New energy vehicle production and sales in China have reached 465,000, up 25.4%. The China Association of Automobile Manufacturers say although prices of raw materials like nickel are rising, new energy vehicle makers are unfazed.
We are now offering virtual car views and test drives to help consumers choose a car. Apart from after-sales service, we are also offering online Q&As, remote diagnosis, and other online services. We have formed a perfect system from sales to customer service.
购买新能源车的一个影响因素。
Adrenaline rushing, blood pumping phase of sport is up next. We start with football. Zimbabwe has been included in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers draw that is happening tonight in Johannesburg, South Africa. This, however, does not mean that a FIFA ban has been lifted. Zimbabwe will only participate in the qualifiers if FIFA lift the ban 2 weeks prior to the first match day of the qualifiers, which are scheduled for between May 30 and June 14, with 2 more rounds between 19 September and 27 September. The final 2 are set for next year from March 20 to 28. Speaking on ZTN's football show The Couch earlier today, football analyst Charles Mushinga said it's high time FIFA and the SRC consider the players' welfare.
It's a very delicate issue because FIFA have had their blunders. FIFA have messed up big time in terms of their running of football. and the SRC in a way is justified to have the FIFA board suspended. But then there's also the international law from FIFA who govern the football internationally. That law is clear that if there's government interference, you'll be suspended, and that's what happened to Zimbabwe. We were fortunate to participate at the AFCON, but now we won't be so fortunate to take part in this, if we are in the draw, but we won't take part unless they lift the ban that they placed on FIFA.
Zetian also spoke to football fans in Harare who shared their views.
View ndeyekuti zvone aveve ana vezifa ana kamwende vave avave ngavambomira vave achiri tikadedi 10 years tisimo mvura I think it's okay.
They should reinstate the board, like vanofana kudzorera board ranga riripo, because people learn, vanhu vese vanokanganisa, so kukanganisa kwakaita board vanofana nguva regular, like izvezvi lesson ravo vatoriona
paboard riripo iri kaire vari kutarisisa vanhu vagara vane mari kudhara ndo vari kuda kuti vapinde kubhora. Saka tikaonawo sponsor kumarokesheni kwetu tinoonawo zvakanaka, tinosimudzirawo nyika yedu pabhora. Zvenyika tosiyana zvitoitawo zvebhora.
As Highlanders celebrated their Uhuru Cup clash win over rivals Dynamos at Barberfield Stadium yesterday, Division 1 outfit Herentals Under-19 were also toasting pretty much to the same triumph. The Northern Region Division 1 side beat Golden Eagles on penalties to lift the invitational Uhuru Cup tournament in Harare yesterday. Our correspondent Tawanda Bote spoke to Herentals Under-19 coach Paul Benza.
We are happy that we managed again to win in the penalty shootout. And today we managed to win 4-1, just showing that the boys are confident even under pressure. So we are very happy and we are excited that we managed to lift the Uhuru Cup, which is very important for us, because we were invited, not because we had qualified. So showed that we had come here not just to fulfill the invitation, but we had come here to win the tournament.
Looking at cricket, the Zimbabwe cricket women's team, the Lady Chevrons, left the country today for the Capricorn Pride Series in Namibia. The series starts tomorrow in Windhoek with the Zimbabwe women taking on Uganda women. She starred in cricket and conquered in tennis. Is golf her next bus stop? That's a sports star Ashley Butty. The 25-year-old has fueled speculation she could take up golf after signing for the Icon Series in USA in July. Butty is a former world women's singles tennis world #1 with 3 Grand Slams. In March this year, she made a shock retirement announcement from tennis. Butty has also participated in cricket for Brisbane Heat women in the Big Bash. Speaking of multi-talent right there, sports news blitz rather coming to a close for today. Remember, you can get in touch with us on our social media platforms. On Twitter, it's at ZTN News, or you can visit our website at ztn.co.zw. World M5 is coming up next.